Zara Mitchell's fingers trembled as she stared at the glowing screen in her darkened bedroom. The photo was already sent, her, draped in emerald silk lingerie that made her deep brown skin look like melted chocolate, one strap sliding off her shoulder, lips curved in a smile she'd practiced 5 times in the mirror. She'd meant to send it to her best friend Kendra with a caption, "Still bad even after heartbreak." But her thumb had slipped and now that photo was sitting in the inbox of Kim Woo-jin, property management, the contact she'd saved 3 months ago when her shower wouldn't stop leaking. "No, no, no, no," Zara whispered, her heart slamming against her ribs. She jabbed at the screen trying to unsend it, but her ancient phone didn't have that feature. "This cannot be happening." Her phone buzzed. Once. 3 times. The first message read, "Interesting maintenance request." The second, "You're more stunning than I imagined. Welcome to Afro-Korean Stories. If this is pulling you in, hit that subscribe button right now because what comes next will change everything you thought you knew about love and loyalty." The third made her blood turn to ice. "Keep the lingerie. I'm taking you to dinner tomorrow. PM sharp. Don't even think about being late." Zara's mouth went dry. What kind of property manager talks like that? She typed back with shaking hands. "OMG, wrong person, I'm so sorry, please delete that immediately." The response came within seconds. "Nothing to apologize for. The image is already burned into my memory. Tomorrow 8 p.m. I'll send a car." "I'm not going anywhere with you," Zara fired back. "This is creepy and completely inappropriate." "Is it creepy when it feels like destiny?" "You live at 2847 Wilshire. Apartment 4B. You moved in last March. You take your coffee with oat milk. You leave for work at 7:30 every morning." Another message appeared before she could respond. "I notice everything about my properties, Zara. And everyone in them." Her hands were shaking so hard she nearly dropped the phone. How did he know her coffee order? Had he been watching her? Before she could spiral further, a photo came through. A sprawling penthouse view. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the glittering lights of downtown Los Angeles. Expensive leather furniture. Modern art on the walls. And reflected in the glass, barely visible but unmistakable, a man. Tall, sharp jawline, perfectly styled dark hair, wearing what looked like a designer suit even though it had to be almost midnight. The caption read, "Since you've shown me yours, it's only fair I show you mine. Tomorrow, Zara. I don't like waiting. And I never ask twice." Zara sat frozen on her bed, staring at that reflection. Even blurred, even barely visible, something about him made her pulse race. Not from fear, though there was plenty of that. Something else. Something dangerous and electric and completely insane. She didn't sleep at all that night. By 6 a.m. she was on the phone with Kendra, her best friend since college, explaining everything in a frantic whisper even though she lived alone. "Girl, slow down," Kendra said groggily. "You sent a thirst trap to who?" "The property management number. And now he's demanding I go to dinner with him, and he knows where I live and what I drink, and Kendra, I think I accidentally seduced a stalker." "Okay, breathe. Send me his number right now." Zara heard typing on the other end, then silence. Then more typing. Then Kendra's voice came back, completely different. "Zara, you need to tell me you're joking." "I'm not joking, why, what did you find?" "That number, it's registered to some private investment company. But that penthouse view, I showed it to my cousin Marcus, you know, the one who works in luxury real estate. He recognized it immediately. That's the Pinnacle Tower penthouse. Sold 3 years ago for $48 million. The buyer's identity was never public, but Marcus says there are rumors, really scary rumors about who owns it." Zara's stomach dropped. "What kind of rumors?" Kendra hesitated. "The kind that involve the Korean Mafia operating out of Koreatown. The kind where people who ask too many questions end up disappearing." "Zara, I think you just sent a lingerie pic to a literal crime lord." The phone slipped from Zara's hand. She caught it, pressed it back to her ear. "You're saying I accidentally texted a mobster? A actual mobster?" "I'm saying the signs point that direction and you need to be very, very careful. Don't ignore him, that could make things worse. But don't agree to anything either. Text him back, be polite but firm, then block him. If he persists, we go to the police. The police can't do anything about the Korean Mafia, Kendra. We don't know for sure he's Mafia. We're just being cautious. After they hung up, Zara spent 20 minutes crafting the perfect response. Professional, polite, firm. Mr. Kim, I appreciate the dinner invitation, but I'm not comfortable meeting someone I don't know. The photo was truly an accident, and I hope we can simply forget this happened. Thank you for understanding. She hit send, immediately blocked the number, and tried to convince herself it was over. It wasn't over. When Zara walked out of her apartment building that morning, a man was waiting. Korean, early 30s, wearing a suit that probably cost more than her car, dark sunglasses hiding his eyes, hands clasped in front of him like a bodyguard from a movie. Miss Mitchell, he said, his voice deep and controlled. Zara froze on the sidewalk. Who are you? My name is Sangwoo. Mr. Kim sent me to inform you that he'll be collecting you tonight at 8 p.m. for dinner. He suggests you wear something elegant. He's taking you somewhere very nice. I already told him I'm not going. Mr. Kim received your message. He chose to disregard it. Sangwoo's expression didn't change. 8 p.m. Miss Mitchell. He's not accustomed to people declining his invitations. And what if I refuse? Mr. Kim doesn't accept refusal. I'd strongly suggest you don't attempt to establish that precedent. He pulled out a business card, placed it on the small table outside her building's entrance. 8 p.m. Then he walked away, sliding into a black Mercedes that probably cost more than Zara made in a year. Zara called in sick to work. She spent the entire day pacing her small apartment, trying to figure out what to do. She could run, pack a bag, go stay with Kendra, change her number, move apartments. But even as she considered it, she knew it was pointless. This man, this Kim Woo-jin, had tracked her from one accidental text. He'd sent an actual bodyguard to her building. Running would only make things worse. New plan. Go to dinner. Explain calmly that this was all a mistake. Apologize. Ask him politely to leave her alone. Then leave. Simple. Except nothing about this situation felt simple. At 7 p.m., Zara stood in her closet, staring at her limited wardrobe. Wear something elegant, Sangwoo had said. Most of her clothes were work-appropriate, professional, maybe cute for brunch. Nothing that screamed elegant dinner with possible crime boss. Finally she pulled out a burgundy dress she'd bought for her cousin's wedding last year. It hugged her curves, made her brown skin glow, fell just above her knees in a way that was sophisticated without trying too hard. She did her makeup carefully, natural but polished. Left her box braids down, framing her face. Added gold earrings and simple black heels. When she looked in the mirror, she barely recognized the woman staring back. She looked confident, powerful, like someone who belonged at expensive restaurants, even though inside she was absolutely terrified. At exactly 7:55 p.m., there was a knock on her door. Zara took 3 deep breaths, grabbed her small clutch and opened it. Sangwoo stood there, his expression as neutral as before. Miss Mitchell, you look beautiful. Mr. Kim is waiting downstairs. The car was a sleek black Mercedes with windows so tinted Zara couldn't see inside. Sangwoo opened the back door for her and she saw him. Kim Woo-jin. He was devastating in person. Late 30s, maybe 40. Perfectly styled black hair with just hints of silver at the temples. Sharp jawline. Impossibly high cheekbones. Dark eyes that seemed to see straight through her. He wore a black suit with no tie, the top 2 buttons of his shirt undone, looking effortlessly elegant and quietly dangerous. Zara, he said. His voice smooth and deep with just a trace of an accent. You're even more breathtaking in person. She slid into the car, keeping as much distance as possible between them. Mr. Kim. Woo-jin, please. Mr. Kim, Zara repeated firmly. I need you to understand something. This entire situation is a mistake. I didn't mean to send you that photo. I don't know you. And I'm not comfortable with any of this. He smiled. Actually smiled like she'd just said something charming. You'll feel differently by the end of tonight. No, I won't. You blocked my number. He said it like he was commenting on the weather. I found that amusing. Most people don't have the courage to block me. I wasn't trying to be courageous. I was trying to set boundaries. Boundaries, he repeated, as if tasting the word. Interesting concept. Sungwoo started driving and Zara forced herself to stay calm. Where are we going? Nobu. I have a private room reserved. Nobu. One of the most exclusive restaurants in Los Angeles. The kind of place where reservations were booked 6 months in advance. I can't afford. You're not paying. You're my guest. Woo-jin turned to face her fully. Zara, I understand you're nervous. But I promise you're safe with me. I have no intention of harming you. Then why am I here? Because I want to know you. The woman who accidentally sent me the most intriguing photo I've received in years. The woman who then had the audacity to tell me to delete it and forget about her. He leaned slightly closer. You fascinate me. I'm not fascinating. I'm a graphic designer who made a stupid mistake. You're beautiful, bold, intelligent. You have fire in your eyes even when you're terrified. That's not common in my world. Your world, Zara repeated. What exactly is your world, Mr. Kim? He studied her for a long moment. I think you already know the answer to that question. I've heard rumors. And yet you're here. I didn't feel like I had a choice. You always have a choice, Zara. You could have refused. Called the police. Run. But you didn't. You got dressed. You got in my car. You're sitting here talking to me. His dark eyes held hers. Why? She didn't have a good answer. The truth was part of her was curious. Terrified, yes, but also curious about this man who looked at her like she was the most valuable thing in the world, who'd sent a car and a bodyguard just to have dinner with her. I'm here because I want to make it clear this was all a misunderstanding, she finally said. And then I want to go home and never hear from you again. Woo-jin smiled. We'll see about that. Nobu was everything Zara expected. Elegant, intimate, impossibly expensive. They were led to a private room with sliding doors, low table, cushioned seating, traditional Japanese style. Woo-jin sat across from her, and immediately a server appeared with sake and menus. Order whatever you'd like, Woo-jin said. I don't even know what half of this is. Then allow me to order for us. Do you trust me? Absolutely not. He laughed, a real genuine laugh that transformed his entire face. Honest. I appreciate that. He ordered in fluent Japanese and the server disappeared, leaving them alone. So, Woo-jin said, pouring sake into both their cups. Tell me about yourself, Zara Mitchell. Why? Because I want to know you. You don't even know me. You just saw a photo. I saw a woman trying to remind herself of her worth after someone made her doubt it. His eyes held hers. That photo wasn't for a man. It was for you to prove to yourself you're still desirable, still beautiful. Am I wrong? Zara's breath caught. How did you? Your eyes in the photo. They weren't seductive. They were defiant, like you were proving something to yourself. He took a sip of sake. So tell me, who made you doubt your worth? She stared at him. My ex-boyfriend. Marcus. He broke up with me 8 months ago, said he wasn't ready for something serious. Last week he got engaged to someone else. He's an idiot. The blunt statement made Zara laugh despite herself. You don't even know him. I know he let you go. That makes him an idiot. Woo-jin leaned forward slightly. Tell me more. What do you do? What makes you happy? And despite every instinct screaming at her not to, Zara found herself talking. About her work as a graphic designer. About her dream of starting her own design firm. About her love of old jazz music and her terrible cooking skills and her obsession with finding the best Thai food in LA. Woo-jin listened, really listened, asked questions, seemed genuinely interested. The food arrived. course after course of beautiful, exquisite Japanese cuisine. Zara tried things she'd never even heard of. "This is incredible," she said, tasting Wagyu beef that melted on her tongue. "I'm glad you're enjoying it." Woo-jin watched her with those intense eyes. "You have a beautiful smile. You should smile more." "Hard to smile when I'm having dinner with a man who basically kidnapped me." "I didn't kidnap you. I invited you. You sent a bodyguard to my building with a message that made it clear I didn't have a choice." "Did Sang-woo threaten you?" "Not directly." "Did I threaten you?" "Not directly." "Then you chose to be here, Zara." He smiled. "Own that choice." She glared at him. "You're infuriating." "So I've been told." He refilled her sake. "Tell me something. If I had texted you normally, asked for a date like a regular person, would you have said yes?" "No. I don't know you." "Exactly. Which is why I had to be unconventional." He leaned back. "I don't do anything halfway, Zara. When I want something, I pursue it completely. And I want to know you." "Why?" "Because of one accidental photo. Because of the fire in your eyes. Because you blocked me when most people would be too afraid. Because you're sitting here arguing with me instead of trying to please me." He leaned closer. "You're real. That's rare in my world." "Your world," Zara repeated. "You mean the criminal world?" Woo-jin's expression didn't change. "Yes." The confirmation should have terrified her. Instead it felt like honesty, like respect. "I run certain operations in Koreatown and beyond," he continued. "I won't lie to you about who I am or what I do. But I will promise you this. You will never be in danger from me or anyone connected to me." "That's not exactly comforting." "I don't expect you to be comfortable. I expect you to be honest." "Can you do that?" "I've been nothing but honest." "Good. Then honestly, are you attracted to me?" The question caught her completely off guard. "What?" "It's a simple question. Are you attracted to me?" Zara's face heated. "That's not." "I don't." "That's a yes." His smile was devastating. "But because I'm very attracted to you." "You can't just say things like that." "Why not?" "It's the truth." Woo-jin stood, moving around the table to sit beside her instead of across from her. "I believe in being direct, Zara. I find you beautiful. I enjoy talking to you. I want to see you again." "This is insane." "Is it? Or is it just honest?" His hand reached out, gently tucking one of her braids behind her ear. "I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to force you to do anything. But I am going to pursue you because that photo, that accidental, beautiful, perfect photo showed me something I haven't seen in years." "What?" "Someone real. Someone who isn't afraid of me. Someone who looks at me like I'm just a man, not a title or a threat." His thumb brushed her cheek. "I want more of that. More of you." Zara's heart was racing. "I don't date criminals." "You don't date anyone. You've been single for 8 months, nursing a broken heart over a man who didn't deserve you. Maybe it's time to try something different." "Different? You mean dangerous?" "Maybe. But also exciting, real, honest." He pulled back slightly, giving her space. "I'm not asking you to be my girlfriend tonight, Zara. I'm asking you to give me a chance. Let me take you on proper dates, get to know each other, see where this goes. And if I say no, then I'll respect that. I'll leave you alone." He paused. "But I don't think you want to say no. You're very arrogant." "I'm very honest." He smiled. "So what do you say? Will you give me a chance?" Zara looked into those dark, intense eyes and realized something terrifying. She wanted to say yes. Against all logic, all common sense, all self-preservation instincts, she wanted to see where this impossible, dangerous, insane connection could go. "One date," she finally said. "One real date. And if I don't feel it, you leave me alone. Deal?" "Deal." Woo-jin's smile was brilliant. He held out his hand. She shook it, and the moment their hands touched, Zara felt electricity shoot through her entire body. This was either the best decision or the worst decision of her life. She had a feeling she was about to find out which. If you're enjoying Zara's story so far, go ahead and hit that like button right now. Trust me, you're going to want to see where this goes. The one date turned into 3, then 5, then Zara lost count. Woo-jin was not what she expected. Yes, he was powerful, dangerous, connected to a world she didn't understand. But he was also thoughtful, attentive, surprisingly romantic. He sent flowers to her office, not roses but sunflowers, her favorite, because he'd noticed the sunflower print on her phone case. He remembered she didn't like coffee after 3 p.m. and would bring her chamomile tea instead. He took her to small jazz clubs she'd mentioned wanting to visit, not just expensive restaurants. He listened when she talked, asked about her projects, seemed genuinely interested in her dreams. And he never ever made her feel like she was just another conquest. "You're different with her," Sang-woo observed one evening when Woo-jin was getting ready for another date with Zara. "What do you mean?" "You smile more. You're softer, more human." Woo-jin adjusted his watch in the mirror. "She makes me want to be more human. The organization is noticing. Some are concerned you're distracted. Let them be concerned. I'm still running everything perfectly. And when they ask who she is, what she means to you," Woo-jin turned to face Sang-woo. "She means everything. And if anyone has a problem with that, they can discuss it with me directly." That night, Woo-jin took Zara to the Santa Monica Pier. Not for an expensive dinner, but for a simple walk along the beach under the stars. "I want to show you something," he said, taking her hand. They walked to a quieter section away from the crowds. The moon was full, reflecting off the dark water. "It's beautiful," Zara said softly. "My mother used to bring me here when I was a child," Woo-jin said quietly. "Before she died. She'd tell me that no matter how dark the world became, the moon would always be there, offering light." Zara squeezed his hand. "How old were you when she passed?" 12. "My father raised me after that. Taught me the business, made me into what I am now." "And what are you?" He looked at her. "I'm a man who was taught that emotions are weakness. That caring about someone makes you vulnerable. That love is a liability. Do you believe that?" "I did." He pulled her closer. "Until I met you. You make me want to be vulnerable, Zara. You make me want to care, even though it terrifies me." "You terrified the big bad crime boss." He smiled, but his eyes were serious. "Terrified, because for the first time in my life I have something to lose. Someone who matters more than power or control or money." Zara's breath caught. "Woo-jin, I'm falling in love with you." The words were simple, direct, honest. "I know it's fast. I know it's complicated. But it's the truth, and I don't lie to you." Tears filled Zara's eyes. "You can't love me. You barely know me. I know you better than you think. I know you take your coffee with oat milk and honey. I know you bite your bottom lip when you're concentrating. I know you have a scar on your right knee from falling off your bike when you were 8. I know you cry during sad movies and laugh at terrible puns. I know you, Zara, and I love what I know. I'm not built for your world. Then I'll build a new world, one where you're safe, happy, loved." He cupped her face. "I'm not asking you to love me back right now. I'm just asking you to let me love you. To give this a real chance." Zara looked into those dark eyes, so intense, so honest, so completely focused on her, and felt something break open in her chest. "I'm scared," she whispered. "Me too. But I think I'm falling for you too." His smile was like sunrise. Yeah. Even though it's insane and dangerous, and probably the worst decision I've ever made." He kissed her then, soft, gentle, like she was something precious. His hands cradled her face and Zara melted into him, her hands gripping his shirt, losing herself in the taste of him. When they finally pulled apart, both breathless, Woo-jin rested his forehead against hers. "I promise you, Zara Mitchell, I will never let anything hurt you. You're mine now, and I protect what's mine. I'm not property. You're not property." You're my heart. There's a difference. Zara laughed, tears streaming down her face. You're so dramatic. I'm Korean. It comes with the territory. He wiped her tears. Stay with me tonight. Not for anything physical, just stay. Me hold you. Let me prove this is real. Okay. That night, Zara slept in Woo-jin's penthouse for the first time, in his bed, in his arms. And for the first time in 8 months she felt completely, utterly safe. 2 months into their relationship, everything changed. Zara was at work when her phone started blowing up. Not calls, texts from numbers she didn't recognize. Enjoying your gangster boyfriend. Another text. Hope he's worth it when you end up dead. Another. Does your family know you're sleeping with a criminal? Her hands shook as message after message came through. Dozens of them, all threatening, all terrifying. She immediately called Woo-jin. I'm getting threats, she said, her voice shaking. Texts, lots of them. His voice went deadly quiet. Where are you? At work. Stay there. I'm sending Sangwoo. Don't leave the building, don't talk to anyone you don't know. I'm handling this. Within 15 minutes, Sangwoo arrived with 2 other men. They escorted her out of the building and into a car, but instead of taking her to Woo-jin's penthouse, they took her to what looked like a legitimate office building in Koreatown. Woo-jin was waiting in a conference room. His expression darker than she'd ever seen. Who's doing this? Zara asked immediately. A rival organization. They've been trying to get leverage over me for months. They think they've found it. Me. This is not your fault. He pulled her into his arms. This is them being desperate and stupid. He pulled back to look at her. But it means things are going to change. You can't go home. Your apartment isn't safe. You're moving into the penthouse until this is resolved. I can't just move in with you. You can and you will. This isn't negotiable, Zara. Your safety is more important than your independence right now. For how long? Until I eliminate the threat. The way he said eliminate sent a chill down her spine. You mean kill them? I mean protect you however necessary. His jaw was tight. They made a mistake targeting you. I'm going to make sure they regret it. That night, Zara moved into Woo-jin's penthouse with a hastily packed bag. Sangwoo's team had swept her apartment, installed security, but Woo-jin insisted she stay with him. I need to know you're safe, he said, showing her to the guest room. You'll stay here. This is your space. No pressure, no expectations. But Zara found herself in his room that night instead, needing his presence, his protection, his warmth. I'm scared, she admitted as he held her. I know. But I promise you I will end this and you will be safe. No one touches what's mine. For 2 weeks, Zara lived in the penthouse. She worked remotely. Woo-jin's staff brought her anything she needed. Sangwoo was always nearby. Should have felt like a prison. Instead it felt like a sanctuary. Woo-jin would come home each night, sometimes late, sometimes with that dangerous edge in his eyes that told her he'd been handling business, and find her waiting. They'd have dinner together, watch movies, talk for hours, and slowly, inevitably they grew closer. One night, Woo-jin came home with blood on his knuckles. Are you hurt? Zara asked immediately, rushing to him. It's not my blood. His voice was flat, emotionless, the voice of a man who'd just done something terrible. Woo-jin, I found the man who sent you those texts. He won't be bothering you again. Ever. The implication was clear. Zara should have been horrified, should have run, should have been disgusted. Instead, she cleaned his hands, bandaged his knuckles, and kissed him. Thank you for protecting me, she whispered. Always. That night, things changed between them. They made love for the first time, slow, intense, consuming. Woo-jin worshipped every inch of her brown skin like she was sacred, and Zara gave herself completely to this dangerous, complicated, impossible man. I love you, she whispered in the darkness afterward. Woo-jin's arms tightened around her. I love you more than I thought possible. You're everything, Zara. Everything. 3 months into their relationship, Zara finally felt safe again. The threats had stopped. Woo-jin had handled the situation. Life had returned to a new normal. Except it hadn't. Because someone had been watching, waiting, planning. Marcus. Her ex-boyfriend. The one who'd broken her heart and gotten engaged to someone else. Except he'd broken off that engagement, and he wanted Zara back. "She's with someone else now," Kendra told him when he showed up asking questions. "Someone way out of your league. Leave her alone, Marcus." But Marcus didn't leave her alone. He started digging, asking questions, and eventually he figured out who Kim Woo-jin was. And he went to the police. "I have information about organized crime operations in Koreatown," he told them. "And I know someone close to the main target." The police had been trying to build a case against Woo-jin's organization for years. Marcus's information, combined with the fact that he had Zara's phone number, her address, her connection to Woo-jin, made him valuable. So they cut him a deal. Help them get evidence, help them build their case, and they'd protect him from retaliation. Marcus agreed. And he started by planting spyware on Zara's phone, the same phone she used to text Woo-jin, to look at his calendar, to occasionally see emails about business meetings. Everything Woo-jin had kept separate from her world was suddenly accessible to the police through Marcus. Zara had no idea until one morning when she woke up to Woo-jin's penthouse surrounded by federal agents. "Zara Mitchell, you're being detained for questioning regarding your knowledge of criminal activities conducted by Kim Woo-jin and his associates." "What? I don't know anything." "You've been living with him for 3 months. You have access to his communications. You're either an accomplice or a witness. Either way, you're coming with us." They took her to a federal building, separated her from Woo-jin, who was being arrested elsewhere, put her in a cold interrogation room for hours. Finally, 2 agents came in. "Miss Mitchell, we know you're not involved in Mr. Kim's criminal activities. But we also know you have information that could help us build our case." "I don't know anything about his business." "You live with him. You have access to his phone, his calendar, his emails." "I never look at those things. We have evidence that suggests otherwise." They slid a folder across the table. "This is data pulled from your phone. Texts, photos, location data, all synced to cloud storage. Which means we have everything Mr. Kim has sent you for the past 3 months." Zara's blood ran cold. "That's private. It's evidence. And it's enough to put Mr. Kim away for a very long time, unless you cooperate." "Cooperate how?" "Testify. Tell us what you know about his operations. Help us build our case. In exchange, we'll grant you immunity and witness protection." "I won't betray him. Even if it means going to prison yourself as an accomplice." Zara stared at them. "You're bluffing." "Are we? You've received money from him, lived in properties he owns, been present at locations where criminal activities occurred. A good prosecutor could make a very convincing case that you're complicit." "I love him." "He's a criminal, Miss Mitchell. Love doesn't change that." The agent leaned forward. "Help us, or go down with him. Your choice." Zara sat in that room for 6 hours, refusing to answer questions, demanding a lawyer, insisting she knew nothing. Finally they let her go, but not before warning her. "We're building our case with or without you. But if you're smart, you'll distance yourself from Kim Woo-jin before it's too late." When Zara finally got back to the penthouse, escorted by Sang-woo, who'd been negotiating her release, Woo-jin was waiting. He'd been released too. His lawyers were too good, the evidence too circumstantial. But the damage was done. "They have my phone data," Zara said, collapsing into his arms. "Everything I've ever texted you, every photo." "I know." His voice was tight. "They got a warrant for cloud backups. It's not enough to convict me, but it's enough to cause problems." "How did they even know to look?" "Someone gave them information. Someone close." Woo-jin's jaw was tight. "I'm finding out who." Took 2 days. 2 days of Woo-jin's organization tearing apart every possible lead. And then they found it. The spyware on Zara's phone, installed remotely, traced back to Marcus. "Your ex-boyfriend," Woo-jin said, his voice deadly quiet. He's been working with the feds, using you to get to me. Zara felt sick. Marcus did this. He planted spyware on your phone, probably when you were still together, activated it recently. Everything you've texted me, every photo, every location. He's been feeding it to the police. Oh my God. He's trying to send me to prison, and he's using you to do it. Woo-jin looked at her with those dark, dangerous eyes. What do you want me to do? I want you to let the police handle it, Zara said immediately. I want you to be better than him, better than this. Zara. Please, Woo-jin. If you kill him, you become exactly what they say you are. You prove them right. He tried to destroy us, to use you against me, to send me to prison. I know, and it's sick and wrong, and I hate him for it. But I don't want you to become a murderer because of him. Zara grabbed his face. I love you, and I need you here with me, not in prison for revenge. Woo-jin closed his eyes, pulling her close. You're asking me to let him walk away. I'm asking you to be the man I fell in love with. The man whose mother taught him there's always light even in darkness. Be that man, not the one your father made you. For a long moment Woo-jin said nothing. Then he exhaled slowly. Okay. I won't kill him. He pulled back to look at her. But he doesn't get to walk away clean. I have evidence of him tampering with your phone without permission, hacking, installing spyware. Those are federal crimes. I'll turn it over to my lawyers. They'll handle it legally. Really? Really? For you. He kissed her forehead. But he's getting prosecuted. And when he inevitably makes a deal with the feds to testify against me, my lawyers will tear apart his credibility as a criminal himself. He won't be able to hurt us. And us. What happens to us? We disappear for a while. Let things cool down. I have properties in other states, other countries. We'll go somewhere safe until my lawyers clean this up. I can't just leave my life. You can work remotely. I'll make sure you have everything you need. And when it's safe, we'll come back. He held her tight. I'm not losing you, Zara. Not to the police, not to your ex, not to anyone. 2 days later they left Los Angeles. Woo-jin had a property in Jeju Island, South Korea. A beautiful house overlooking the ocean, far from the chaos and danger of their normal lives. For 3 months they lived there together, just the two of them with Sang-woo and minimal security nearby. But mostly it was peace. Zara worked on her design projects remotely. Woo-jin ran his organization through encrypted communications, but mostly they just existed together. They cooked meals together, walked on the beach, made love under the stars, built a life that felt real and simple and perfect. I could stay here forever, Zara said one evening, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of orange and pink. We can if you want. Woo-jin pulled her close. I'm done, Zara. With all of it. My lawyers are negotiating my complete exit from the organization. I'm transferring leadership to my second-in-command, legitimizing all my remaining business interests. I'm getting out. Zara turned to stare at him. What? But that's your entire life. You're my entire life. Everything else is just noise. He took her hand. I told you I'd build a new world for you. Meant it. A world where you're safe, where we can be together without looking over our shoulders, where I can be the man you deserve. Tears filled Zara's eyes. You'd really give all that up for me? I'd give up anything for you. He got down on one knee. Zara's breath caught. I don't have a ring yet, we left a little too fast. But I'll get you any ring you want, 10 rings, whatever makes you happy. He smiled. But I need to ask you now, before another second passes. Zara Mitchell, will you marry me? Will you let me spend the rest of my life loving you, protecting you, building a life that's ours and only ours? Yes, Zara sobbed. God, yes, yes, I'll marry you. He stood, kissed her deeply, spun her around as she laughed through her tears. I love you, he murmured against her lips. My accidental perfect mistake, my beautiful chaos. I love you too, my dramatic Korean crime boss. Former crime boss. Right, former. She kissed him again. 1 year later, Zara stood in a small art gallery in Portland, Oregon, looking at the photographs on the walls. Her photographs. After Jeju, she and Woo-jin had settled in Portland, far from his old life. He'd kept his promise, completely exited the organization, legitimized all his business holdings, became what he jokingly called a boring legal businessman. And Zara had finally opened her own photography studio and design firm. The gallery showing was her first major event. Black and white portraits, street photography, landscapes, and one photo that everyone kept coming back to. A close-up of 2 hands clasped together, one light brown, one pale. Simple gold bands on both their ring fingers. "That's my favorite," Woo-jin said, coming up behind her and wrapping his arms around her waist. "Mine too." Zara leaned back against him, feeling the solid warmth of her husband. They'd married 6 months ago in a small ceremony on the beach in Jeju with just Kendra, Sang-woo, and a handful of close friends. "How does it feel, being a successful photographer and designer?" "Surreal. Amazing. Like I'm finally where I'm supposed to be." "You are." He kissed her neck. "And I'm so proud of you. Ready to go. We have dinner reservations in 30 minutes. I want to enjoy this a little longer." They stood together, looking at her work, at the evidence of the life they'd built together against all odds. "You know what's funny?" Zara said softly. "What?" "If I hadn't accidentally sent you that photo, none of this would have happened. I'd probably still be in LA, working a job I was just okay with, still getting over Marcus. And I'd still be a miserable man running a criminal empire with no one to come home to. So basically, that wrong number was the best mistake I ever made. Best mistake we both ever made." Woo-jin turned her to face him. "I love you, Zara Kim. I love you too, Woo-jin Kim." He kissed her right there in her gallery, in front of all her photographs, surrounded by the life they'd built from one accidental, perfect, beautiful mistake. And Zara thought, this is what happiness feels like. Not perfect, not simple, but real and completely, wonderfully hers. End. So here's the thing about wrong numbers. Sometimes they lead you exactly where you're meant to be. Sometimes love finds you in the most unexpected, unconventional ways. And sometimes one accidental photo can change absolutely everything. If you enjoyed Zara and Woo-jin's story, please hit that like button right now. And drop your comments down below. I want to hear from you. Would you accidentally text a mafia boss? What would you do in Zara's situation? Would you give someone like Woo-jin a chance? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more stories like this, stories about unexpected love, dangerous romance, and life-changing mistakes, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next story. Until then, maybe double-check who you're sending those photos to. You never know who might be on the other end.